Welcome back to the Deep Dive. So if you've walked into pretty much any kitchen store lately, or even just browsed online, you've definitely seen this debate raging. Air fryer versus convection oven. It's everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. It's kind of the big countertop showdown, isn't it? Speed versus versatility and size, really. Both promise that amazing crispy golden result, Fries, wings, veggies.
Right, that perfect crunch. But they get there differently, even though fundamentally they're both using convection. That's the core idea.
Exactly. And that's what our source material really helps unpack. They use the same principle, but they're built for, totally different kitchens, different lives.
Yeah, and that's our mission today. We want to cut through all the marketing noise, look at the actual mechanics, the thermodynamics, and really lay out the pros and cons of each one. So by the end of this, you should have a really clear idea of which appliance actually fits your life. Your kitchen, your health goals, how you cook day to day.
Okay, so let's start with that core idea they share because, it really sets the stage. Convection. Both these appliances use fans. Simple as that. They circulate really hot air all around the food.
And that circulating hot air cooks things faster, more evenly. It gets more surface contact, right?
Precisely. But how they do it, the scale and the intensity, that's where they split off. You mentioned they're not twins.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe like a super fast specialized race car versus a big, reliable pickup truck. Your standard convection oven, it's got fans moving air around a big oven space. It takes longer to heat up, sure, but it's consistent. Rock solid.
Right. Whereas the air fryer, it's all about hyper efficiency. It's got that compact chamber and the air circulation is rapid, really intense. That speed plus the food being so close to the heating element.
Yeah.
It's almost like radiant heat, really focused.
Okay. So it's not just circulating. It's like blasting the food with hot air.
Kind of, yeah. And that intense focused heat is the secret sauce for getting that fried texture with hardly any oil.
Okay. So that's the fundamental tech difference, which leads right to the big question for you listening. Do you need that super fast, compact air fryer efficiency? Or do you need the bigger capacity and the all-around cooking power of the convection oven? Let's dig into the air fryer first, the one that's really taken over modern kitchens.
Yeah, let's do it. Looking at the analysis, the first massive point for the air fryer is definitely health, or at least the potential for healthier cooking. The numbers are pretty stark. They can use up to 80% less oil compared to traditional deep frying.
80%. That's the number you always hear. And it makes sense why it's so popular. If you're thinking about weight management, heart health, cutting out that much oil on things like fries or chicken seems like a huge win. You still get the crunch, but fewer calories.
It is a huge potential win. But, we need to be a bit critical here. One source made a really good point. That health benefit, it only really counts if you actually change what you're cooking, or at least use it for healthier things.
What do you mean?
Well, if you just use the air fryer to cook, say, loads of prepackaged, highly processed frozen snacks faster, then, okay, you use less added oil, maybe. But the food itself isn't suddenly healthy. The benefit of less oil gets kind of swamped by everything else in the food.
Ah, right. So the machine itself isn't magic. It just gives you a method that can be healthier if you're using it with, like, fresh vegetables or lean protein.
Exactly. It enables a healthier approach, but you still have to choose that approach. It's a tool, not a cure-all.
That's a really important distinction. Okay, but beyond the health angle, the thing that probably blows most people away is are just wild, like 2 or 3 minutes to get to cooking temperature.
It's incredibly fast. And when you think about a normal oven taking, 10, 15 minutes, sometimes longer just to heat up, that's maybe 10, 12 minutes you save before you even start cooking every single night.
Yeah, that adds up. If you're busy juggling work, kids, whatever, getting that chunk of time back can be the difference between actually cooking something homemade and just ordering takeout again.
Absolutely. It makes cooking feel more accessible on a busy weeknight.
And that speed comes from its size, which also means it's cheaper to run, right? And better for the environment, maybe?
Generally, yes. It's heating a much, much smaller space. So less energy used compared to firing up a whole big oven for, say, a couple of chicken breasts. That translates to, slightly lower electricity bills and a smaller carbon footprint for that particular meal.
Plus, the small size itself is a benefit for a lot of people. Small kitchens, apartments, dorm rooms. Counter space is precious.
Definitely. So putting it all together, the air fryer really shines for that modern lifestyle. You want quick meals, you're maybe trying to cook a bit healthier, you don't have a huge kitchen, and you're usually cooking for just one or two people, maybe up to four. It's sort of the champion of speed, health consciousness for smaller batches, and space saving.
Okay, champion of speed and small scale. Got it. But like you said, that small size. It's also its biggest weakness, isn't it? If you need to cook for more people.
Yeah.
Or bigger things.
That's exactly where the trade-offs start hitting hard. Before we totally switch to convection ovens, we really have to talk about these limits. Across all the reviews and data we looked at, the number one complaint: capacity and the hassle of batch cooking.
Right, because you can't just pile food in there. It needs that air circulation to work its magic.
Precisely. That rapid air, that intense heat needs to hit all the surfaces to get things crispy. So you have to cook in a single layer. If you try and cram in, say, a big batch of fries, you just block the airflow.
And then what happens? Soggy fries.
Pretty much. Or uneven cooking. You end up with something more like steamed potatoes in the middle and maybe kind of crispy ones on the top layer. It totally defeats the purpose. So you end up having to cook in multiple small batches, shaking the basket in between.
Which completely wipes out the whole speed advantage you were going for in the first place.
Exactly. If you're cooking for 4 or more, doing multiple batches can take longer than just using a regular oven. Oh, and we should mention the noise, too. That powerful fan needed for the super fast air. It can be pretty loud, often louder than the fan in a bigger convection oven.
Okay. And cleanup. I've heard mixed things.
It really depends on the model, but yeah.
Yeah.
Those baskets, often with mesh or holes, they can be a pain to clean properly compared to just wiping down a baking sheet.
Okay, so speed and potential health gains on one side, but limited capacity, potential batch cooking nightmares, noise, and sometimes tricky cleanup on the other. That's the air fryer reality check.
That sums it up pretty well.
All right, let's pivot then. Let's talk about the workhorse, the convection oven. Despite this whole air fryer craze, convection ovens are still the go-to for a lot of people, especially for bigger jobs or more serious cooking.
Absolutely. And the first, most obvious advantage is just sheer size, capacity. If you're regularly cooking for a family, or you like to entertain, or even just meal prep large quantities, the convection oven wins hands down. You can fit multiple dishes, large roasting pans, things an air fryer just can't handle.
It's not just about quantity, though, is it? It's about consistency, too, especially for things like baking.
Exactly. This gets into something called thermal mass. Because the oven cavity is larger and often built with heavier materials, it holds heat much better. It maintains a more stable, even temperature, even if you open the door briefly or put a big cold roast inside.
Okay, thermal mass. So more stable heat means more even cooking.
Yes. That uniform heat distribution is really crucial for getting perfectly consistent results, especially with baking, where temperature fluctuations can ruin things, or for large roasts that need to cook evenly for a long time.
And versatility, that's the other big one for convection ovens, right? They do more than just air fry.
Oh, way more. A convection oven is fundamentally a multi-purpose appliance. You've got standard baking, roasting, broiling. It's a complete cooking center. It's not just focused on achieving that one specific crispy texture. It handles a much wider range of cooking tasks.
And for people who are really into cooking, the features go beyond the basics, too.
Definitely. We saw sources talking about features in higher-end models that really appeal to enthusiasts. Things like multiple specialized cooking modes, proofing bread, dehydrating, plus really precise temperature controls, and something that used to be only in pro kitchens, steam injection.
Steam injection? Why would a home cook need that? What does that do?
It's amazing for certain things. It lets you control the humidity inside the oven.
Yeah.
Think about baking bread that steam helps get a fantastic oven spring, a really good rise, and that perfect crackly, crisp crust.
Like sourdough.
Exactly. Or think about roasting a large turkey or piece of meat. Adding steam can help keep it moist over a long cooking time, preventing it from drying out. That level of control. You just don't get that in a little air fryer basket.
That makes sense. And it also plays into this idea of kitchen consolidation, maybe. If you've got a good convection oven, maybe you don't need a separate toaster oven or even the standalone broiler, perhaps.
Potentially, yes. Depending on the model, a good convection oven can definitely take the place of several other gadgets. So even though it takes up more space initially, for someone who hates counter clutter and wants one appliance to do most things well, it can actually be a space and money saver in the long run.
Okay. But convection ovens aren't perfect either. They have downsides, and funnily enough, they often mirror the air fryer's strengths.
That's usually how it works, isn't it? the trade-offs.
So that high thermal mass we praised for consistency, that also means it's slow to heat up. We're back to that 10 or 15-minute preheat time.
Yeah. Speed is not its forte. Every meal starts with that waiting period.
And heating that big space takes more energy too, right?
Absolutely. While you might save a bit on oil compared to deep frying, you're definitely using more electricity each time you turn it on compared to an air fryer, especially for smaller tasks. If you're just reheating a slice of pizza or cooking a couple of fish fillets, firing up the whole big oven feels, well, pretty inefficient.
No, definitely overkill. Okay, so we've looked at both sides. The speed, health, and space efficiency of the air fryer versus the capacity, versatility, and consistency of the convection oven. Let's try and boil this down. How does someone listening actually make the final call? What are the key decision points?
I think it really, really has to come down to matching the appliance to your actual real-life cooking habits and your household. Not your aspirational cooking habits, but what you really do. It's about reducing friction in your kitchen day to day.
Okay, so the air fryer is probably your winner if. Let's list the criteria. Number 1, healthier cooking with minimal oil is a top priority for you. That 80% reduction matters.
Right. 2, your kitchen space is tight. Countertop real estate is limited.
3, you usually cook for just 1 to 4 people, max.
Yeah.
Small batches are your norm.
And 4, speed and energy efficiency for daily meals are critical. You need to get food on the table fast, without firing up a giant appliance. Basically, you value that rapid convenience over large capacity.
Okay, makes sense. Now, the convection oven, when is that the clear choice?
All right, the convection oven wins if. First, you need that bigger capacity. You cook for a large family, you entertain often, or you do big batch cooking or meal prep.
Second, you're a more serious home cook. You enjoy baking, roasting large cuts of meat, things that need precise temperature and maybe advanced features. Versatility is key.
Third, you actually have the kitchen space for a larger appliance. It's not going to feel like a massive intrusion.
And fourth, you like the idea of one appliance doing many things well. You want to consolidate and have that single, robust, versatile unit rather than lots of smaller gadgets.
Exactly. It's about matching the tool to the job you actually do most often.
You know, what really strikes me listening to this is that the wrong choice isn't really about buying a bad appliance. Both are good technologies. The mistake is buying something that just doesn't fit how you live and cook. Like getting that huge pro-style convection oven when all you ever make is frozen chicken nuggets for one.
Precisely. That's just inefficient, wastes energy, wastes money, wastes valuable counter space. It creates friction instead of removing it. Although, speaking of friction, we should probably circle back to that cleanup point briefly.
Yeah, the air fryer basket versus the oven cavity.
Right. That air fryer might cook faster, but sometimes cleaning that intricate basket, especially after something greasy, can take longer and be more annoying than just wiping down an oven rack or using a self-clean cycle on a modern oven. So the total time saved isn't just cooking time, you got to factor in the cleanup time too.
That's a really practical point. Okay, so wrapping up this deep dive, let's just hammer home those key factors one last time. Before you buy anything, think hard about these 4 things. Your family size or typical meal size. Your available kitchen space, your specific health goals and how realistic they are, and most importantly, your actual day-to-day cooking habits.
Yeah, don't buy the appliance for the fantasy version of yourself who cooks elaborate meals every night if that's not you. Buy for the real you. Don't optimize for the one big holiday meal you host each year. Optimize for the Tuesday night dinner you make 50 times a year.
Well said.
And that brings us to maybe one final thought to leave people with, tying back to that idea of consolidation and efficiency. A lot of newer full-size convection ovens are actually coming out with a dedicated air fry setting built right in.
Interesting. The hybrid approach.
Exactly. So does that offer the best of both worlds? You get the big capacity and versatility of the convection oven when you need it, but you also get that specific air fry function for quicker, crispier results on smaller things, maybe mimicking the dedicated air fryer's performance.
Or does the standalone specialized air fryer still win out for those daily tasks because it's so much faster to preheat and potentially uses less energy just for that specific job? It really makes you think about what kind of efficiency you value most, the all-in-one versatility or the specialized compact speed. What's the best use of that counter space, ultimately?
It's a tough question, and the answer probably depends, yet again, on those personal cooking habits. Something to definitely consider.